Greetings, everyone. This is the artist and writer behind Doc Gallahan and Queen's Gate. And this is the first of several weekly vlogs about the Dead Letter Office Kickstarter. I'm going to keep these kind of short because I know we all are busy and we have lots to do. I really first want to say thank you to everyone who's backed this so far. You guys are awesome. And I'm just so excited that this is a reality. I really loved working on the previous Kickstarter, and the ephemera for that just was like, it just made me realize why I do this and why everything is so important to me on a personal level. When I started this, I have a artistic pillar which runs through and holds up this entire thing. And that creative pillar is everything is an artifact. Queen's Gate existed. And so this project is the epitome of that. And I'm just really excited to work on it. So, I wanted to make this project because I love epistolary writing. And I guess with the last project, I just realized how much I love that style, and I love reading it. The idea of experiencing epistolary work in a novel is very different than experiencing it in the actual documentation. There's just nothing like that in the world. And this is not a new idea. My first experience with this way of presenting an epistolary work was Griffin and Sabine. And that work was so ingenious in that it was a book, but in the book it had letters that you opened. And the one thing I always thought, the art was so amazing for that, but the one thing that sort of always took me out of it was I want to actually hold the objects. And you're certainly holding letters, but it's clear that it's all mass produced. And that kind of brings me to my next topic, which is mass production. With the last project, I really learned how to make an assembly line for myself and the processes of going through and antiquing. I got better as I did it, of course. I've been antiquing documents for quite some time, but never on that level. And so, were they all perfect? No, but I did discover some techniques even after that I perfected. So that project was very important for really getting the process down that makes the Dead Letter Office. Someone asked me, so as I've been promoting this, I've been talking to people and other creators that are doing snail mail clubs and that sort of thing. And someone said, where do you buy your papers, your antiqued papers? And they were shocked when I said, I make them. I make them in my studio. It's all handmade. And it's just a series of printing processes because I'm a printmaker as well. And so it's just a series of printmaking that allows this all to work. But I use regular paper, and I've sourced papers that feel antique. Now, I will say that with the Queen's Gate Observer Kickstarter, I used actual vintage papers, but sourcing those was very difficult and very expensive. But I was only limited to 100, so I was able to do that. This I want to take to a higher level. I'd like to make 300-400 maybe in lots of 100. And there's just sourcing that vintage paper is just not feasible. So I perfected different techniques on how I can take sort of modern papers that are the essential weight or have a woven texture or a cotton that work with my techniques. So I have a printmaking process that does that. And then I have a process of actual antiquing where I have tools that I use to essentially crease them, cut them, because papers that have existed for a long time are not perfect. They're not perfect edges, and they have stains from handling. And so I have tools for that as well. So they go through about 3 different processes: a printmaking process that antiques, and then a handmade process that creases and folds and also cuts and messes up the edges, and then a final handmade antiquing process in which I'm using sponge tools to add that layer of dirt on top of it. And so that's a peek behind antiquing. The next subject I want to talk about is international shipping. We had one of the backers who live in the EU ask if they could receive the package at the end all at once. And because they felt that with the way that the pricing works on international shipping, especially within their country, it would be much cheaper. And of course, I understand this. I want people to not have to spend a ton of money beyond what they're already spending on this project. I looked into it, and I can definitely offer this. I don't have to change the backer tiers. What will happen is at the end of this campaign, when I send out the survey, I'm ready to ship in January. So around December of this year, November, December this year, I'm going to send out the survey, and you will determine whether you want to receive this monthly or you want to receive it all at the end. It actually should be a savings of around 15 to 30 US dollars for those internationally. Now, with that said, one thing that I've decided to do differently this time around is for all of the physical backers, I'm going to supply the digital files. So if you want to follow it before you receive them all with everyone else, you can do that through the digital files at no cost to you. Hopefully that will help alleviate that as well. If you want to receive those and don't want them all at once, again, I'm going to offer the idea of receiving them all at once at the end or every month. And those, I've never used this before, but I know that now via Kickstarter, you can receive items, digital items, through Kickstarter's fulfillment system, and I'll be delivering them that way, which is pretty nice. So that's about it. This week, I'm actually going to start working on designs for the Dead Letter Office stamp. I'm hoping to offer 4 designs for the community to pick from. We did this last time with the print, and that was really fun. And now the Kickstarter system even has a poll so we can all see what people are choosing, and it should be much more interesting this time around, a lot easier, a lot more transparent. I'll be choosing around 4 designs. I think that's the best thing. And every stamp that comes with the parcels, wax seal stamp, will be made with this design. Thanks for listening to my rambling this week. And again, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that everyone has just really made this happen so quickly. I hope everyone loves the story and the experience, and I hope to offer many more of these. Once again, thank you. Have a great week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.